Hi everybody, my name is Mrs. Poindexter, and this is going to be your introduction to the professional nursing role transition. This is one of your first courses that you should be taking in your RN-BSN track. The main focus of this course is to review the theories of nursing, systems, family, teaching, learning, practice, education, roles, and changes that are central to the current profession of nursing practice. What you're going to find over the next several weeks is various assignments that is going to help you in the transition back into academia, but also to get you thinking a little bit more about your role as a nurse and the profession as a whole. So just to kind of walk you through some components, especially if you're just going back to school and you haven't really played around in Blackboard too much, this will kind of help walk you through some things. So when you go to your home page, this is what it looks like. Over on the left tab is where you're going to move around the course site. First thing you want to do is go to your Getting Started, so where it says Start Here under University Information. You want to make sure to take some time and go over the different components. There is a lot of great information for you here, not just as a student, but also as a nurse as well, just as you are progressing in your education. There's also some information here about academic honesty, netiquette guidelines, and some information too about the technical requirements. Since this is an online course, being able to have access online is going to be vital. Some of the meat of the course is going to be your course syllabus and also your assignments by week with due dates. Once you click on those, they're going to take you to the different documents, and you see here it always starts off with what the course is, the different faculty that teach it, course description, program outcomes, and the course objectives that we will touch on during the next several weeks. Please understand that there are requirements and textbooks and resources for this course, so please make sure that you have purchased these. There's also some library resources that are going to be beneficial to you. Methods of instruction. Depending on the instructor that you have, there's a lot of independent being self-directed and online courses, but there's also going to be some interactive in terms of discussion boards. Please know that loss of internet service is not a reason or an accepted excuse for late work, so kind of be mindful about that. And also, this is a big one too. When you are communicating with me by email, please do not send me email messages through personal email. I will only correspond with you via USC Upstate, so try to get in the habit of checking your USC Upstate email, since when I send announcements, you will automatically get an email alert of those announcements. Method of evaluation. So there are going to be a few discussion boards that you will do postings. Because this course starts on a Thursday, initial posts need to be done by 11:59 on Saturday, and responses to peers no later than Wednesday by 11:59. This is Eastern Standard Time. Please make sure that your initial response and your responses to peers are done on separate days, just because going online is basically your activity and presence in the course. This right here is another component that students are very concerned about, basically what makes up your grade. Because this is a little bit of a hodgepodge, trying to get you exposed to several different things, there are a lot of small assignments, but there are some major ones. As you'll see here, there's some modules, quizzes, exercises that will get you kind of familiarized with writing again if it's been a while. We also have some discussions. There is a nurse theory assignment. There's also a cultural competence course that you will do. The nice thing about this course is, even though it takes a little time to complete it, you will actually get continuing education, I believe up to 3 contact hours. You also have a pamphlet or infographic assignment, and then there's also a change paper and your proposal, which is additional 5%, which, trust me, will really help you in writing your paper, and so that's why we felt the need to award some points to that. That makes up your grade. The grading scale, you will find, unless I just went past it, which I think I did. Let's scroll through here, because that's another component that students are really concerned about. Here we go. The grading scale and progression. So 92 to 100 is an A, and so on. Late assignments, typically I will not accept an assignment if it's more than 3 days late. If something has come up, just because this is an online course, one thing I've always told any student is that communication with me is absolutely vital. So you need to reach out to me, let me know if something's going on. If you're hospitalized or your loved one's hospitalized and you're their caregiver, you need to reach out to me to make arrangements. I'm very understanding, but communication is going to be your first step in that process. Code of conduct, plagiarism. Again, that's why you're going to do the tutorial. If you do require, for any reason, accommodations, you need to reach out to the disability services, and in the syllabus we provide both their telephone number and email address. The sooner you do that, the sooner they can work on helping you get accommodations. There isn't really any testing in here. There is one quiz that we allow 90 minutes. If for some reason you feel you need additional or require services, you need to reach out to me to let me know, or reach out to disability services. Objectives of the course are in the last part of the syllabus, and it will kind of make up each of the 7 weeks. All right. The other document, which is really important, and I would say go ahead and print this up, stick it on your refrigerator. It's 2 pages. It literally outlines the weekly guide, what assignments you have due, and their due dates. Most of the time, most assignments are going to be due by the end of that week, which is a Wednesday, but you'll see some assignments that are highlighted in yellow. They have different due dates. So just for example, during week 1, I do allow both the library exercise and plagiarism module, allow you up to the end of week 2 if you need that extension. And as you scroll down here, we have a few assignments where the pamphlet infographic is due on a Friday, peer evaluations due on a Wednesday, and change paper due on a Friday. So just kind of double check on some of the assignments if they have a different due date, but everything is kind of laid out there for you. All right, so those are the main 2 documents of the course. Back to the actual Blackboard course. So once you've gone to the documents, underneath that you have course faculty, which is myself. It'll tell you a little bit of information about me, my background, and my kiddos, which I absolutely adore, and they keep me running. Next after that, announcements. Like I said, when I send out announcements to students, you should get an automatic email alert, but if you don't check your USC Upstate email often, but you do go on Blackboard, please click the announcements, because I typically only send announcements as weekly, polite weekly reminders of assignments, but also some important information. So if I send an announcement, I actually expect you to read it. So like I said, I try not to send you fluff. Okay, so week to week work is under the weekly work here. Click on weekly guides and you'll see everything is broken up week by week. And let's just go to week 1 here. It will give you an overview of the course, where you're going to be kind of reviewing that week. As you click the button here or you scroll down here, either way, you click on here, it will give you your to-do for the week. It will give you links, and if there's ever a time that you click on something and the link is broken, please email me or post something under the question area in the discussion board and we'll get there, but I'll make sure to get that resolved. I always do my best to check all the links, but every once in a while something breaks without me knowing. I can't fix it unless I know. After that, there will always be a weekly folder that has all your assignments. And just to show you here, it has the Start Here university information, then the next one. So as you go through here, it will show you each of the assignments. So if you have any questions about any of your assignments, please let me know. During the 7 weeks, we do have some discussion boards. There's always a discussion board here about having a question. As long as it relates to the course, please go ahead and post it here. I do respond pretty quickly to those, and it just helps other students if they have questions. Now, if you have anything that's very specific to you and your grade, just go ahead and please send me an email from your USC Upstate email account. There will be a few different discussion boards. And like I said, each week has them linked, but you will have a discussion that you need to do in week 1, week 2, and week 4 for this course. Underneath all that, I do have a folder which is APA resources. You do a lot of writing in here, and I really do expect you to kind of get up and running with APA. So I've done my best over time to provide a lot of resources for you. And down here, the How to Cite folder is one that I've kind of been building every semester. So every once in a while there are some odd things that you might not know how to cite. So check there, see if I have it. If you're having problems, email me and I will help you out, and I will probably add it to this list. So as you can see, there's a few different things here that students over time have had some difficulties in terms of citing. The other thing that's going to be important for you is under My Grades. What I want to point out here is it'll list all of your grades, but make sure, because I always try to give you feedback pretty much on every assignment. So when you scroll through here, if you see little bubbles like this, there's probably a note from me, and so to make sure to click on that so you can see my comments. Okay? And if you double check or double click on something, it will show you grading criteria. Like here it says view rubric. Rubric is basically how I completely grade you on everything. I will always tell students, please, 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 please follow your rubric. That's how I'm going to grade you. So for example, here, this assignment, here's the rubric. Okay? Now, in terms of assignments, for example, little how-tos moving around in Blackboard. So that just kind of gives you navigation. If you are totally comfortable with Blackboard and you don't need any more assistance, you can go ahead and close out of this video at this time. But the next few minutes, I'm just going to hit some highlights of people who have maybe never ever been in Blackboard. So for example, discussion board. When you go to do a post, and I'm going to click on that, and it's going to think for a second. All right. So let's say, for example, I'm just going to jump down to week 4 here, and I'm going to click on the link. And at this point, nobody obviously has created a thread, but I'm a student, and some things I want to know is, oh geez, what do I need to put in here, and how am I going to be graded? So if you click on grading information, and sorry, this is just going to take a second to think, it is going to pull up this preview. And one thing I don't like about this, when students click on it, if they're unaware of how Blackboard works, is that this little icon right here, when I hover over it, says View Rubric. So if you click there, you can view the rubric that way, and there's all the information. Okay? So if you want to try to strive for 100%, basically just follow this column right here. okay, where it says excellent. To go back, if you're going to actually create your thread, that's when you would click this button where it says create thread. Okay. And again, when you hit create thread, it kind of gives you a form, the description of the form again, and some information. But like I said, I would always try to print up the rubric. It gives you a good idea of all the components you need to hit. A lot of times in the form description, it just gives you a brief overview of the requirements, but it doesn't necessarily hit all the points. So look at your rubric, okay? And you probably will get sick of me saying it, but look at your rubric. So you put your subject, you will put your name in there. So for example, I'll say Poindexter, week 4, response. Now, for example, I think during week 1, you have to do a picture, just follow the instructions, but the different icons here will help you. Like here is your insert edit image. So if you want to insert an image, go ahead and click that. And you can browse your computer. And if I go to pictures, let's say I'm going to put a comic in there. Why not? I have tons of nursing comics. So let's say I want to go with this one. Is there one about nursing? Let's just say this asthma one, fine. So click on that. There's some things I can adjust. If I hit appearance, I can change the dimensions of the pixels. Usually 300 by 300 works, or if you do that. You can set the alignment if you want baseline, top, middle, doesn't really matter. And just go ahead, hit insert, hit OK, and all of a sudden, look, your image is added in there. So there's different things you can do and play around. It's you know, gives you different tools to use. One thing a lot of students ask when they're doing their discussion boards, when they have to list the references, don't worry about the hanging indent. It typically doesn't translate very well in discussion boards. Okay. Other things too, you can go back and edit your post. I'll always see the time and date of your initial post. So if you happen to notice something maybe that you did not edit correctly, you can certainly go in and make changes before the due date when I actually grade them after the end of the week. So that's kind of some of the basics of Blackboard. Hopefully, if you have any other questions, just let me know. I'm more than happy to help you. And I always find that if students, if several students have an issue, and if I could do another video and get it uploaded to help some of you out, I will certainly do so. So I look forward to the next 7 weeks, and take care.